Hi everybody, welcome to Pointed, our client-only focused vlog at Point Global Marketing. This vlog is really for the edification of our clients. It's designed to give information and expertise and thought leadership to you, our clients, to ensure greater outcomes in your own businesses. Thank you for joining us. If you have been with us through the series so far, welcome back. If you're joining us for the first time, go back, watch what has been presented before, and welcome to the journey. Today we're going to be looking at mentorship and why mentorship is important in building a business. Now, as a business person, for me, I don't think I'll be able to start and sustain a business without mentors. And I put mentors into three categories. You have one, peer mentors. There are people who are on the same journey as you are. Two, you have what I call advanced mentors, meaning that they're further ahead in business than you are. They're further ahead in the process than you are. And as a result of that, they can help you to short circuit the learning that needs to take place. And the third one, you have life mentors. These are people for me that are important as a business person because they, in my mind, would have cultivated a life in building their business that you are proud of and that you can look on as an example. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. Mentorship and why mentorship is important. So your mentors must satisfy, in my mind, three roles. Actually, I think there was a paper that talked about the 3 C's of mentorship. One, your mentor should be a consultant. They should be able to basically guide and advance your process. Oftentimes, people will try to get mentors, but the mentors are not able to consult on the specific needs that they might have to advance a process. And what do I mean by to advance a process? They must have specific expertise in the areas they are trying to tackle and be able to move the needle in those areas on your behalf. Secondly, your mentor should be a counselor. What it means is that when you have difficult scenarios in your business, they should be able to counsel and guide you through those scenarios. They should be a mutual voice, a voice of reason for you to look to when you have difficult decisions to make or when you're even feeling lonely in your business process. As emerging business owners, even though there are many resources globally online through companies, organizations, accelerators, it can be a very lonely process. And it's important that mentors are chosen that are able to provide counseling, even on your family life issues when that is needed. And finally, there must be a cheerleader. Now, if I look back at my own business, almost all of the growth that has come through a mentor relationship. So I remember when we started initially, and we started through a university accelerator at the University of Technology in Jamaica. I remember when we had no revenues. I won't call the name because I haven't asked permission, but I'll talk a little bit about a challenge I had with figuring out where we wanted to go. One of the first challenges I encountered at Point Global was figuring out how should we position ourselves and how we should satisfy that market. And one of the first mentors I had, basically acting as my cheerleader, opened up a brand new market for me by just providing some advice. In just understanding the business, they were able to say, Javed, if you're now talking to these individuals who aren't best placed to make a decision on your business, if you just make this shift to these companies, you would have a better success rate. And just that simple advice got me thinking about who are we designed to satisfy. And as a result of that, we were able to pivot to that. The second thing is when we were looking at the markets that we operate in. So as you know, Point Global now operates through our US office that's based in New York, to our Jamaica office, which is our headquarters, as well as we're in Trinidad and Tobago. And we chose those locations based on the relationship and the advice of our mentors. And that has worked out very well for us, because it has seen us expanding our customer base and providing value. So that's what I mean when I say the cheerleading part of it is so important. One of the things that is super important about the mentor relationship is people think that it should be an automatic process. Like, I've gotten requests via email, will you be my mentor, from somebody who I've never had any interaction with. Now, while I'm fine with that, it's important that you choose your mentors extremely wisely. So as a result of that, it's important that you go through basically a phase before even saying to someone, can you become my mentor, in a formalized way, or building a relationship with a mentor in an informalized way. Now, the steps that are important are: one, the preparation, which means that you have to understand what your business needs are, what the role that you want these mentorships to fulfill, and then work through that with the mentor. The negotiation. It's important that you understand that your mentor have needs on their times, and they are probably involved in processes of moving their own business forward or their own life goals forward. So it's important that you negotiate with them about how you interface. Is it over coffee once every 2 months? Is it a phone call when it's needed? Is it email for advice? Is it a call every now and again? You have to kind of find out where the relationship, how do you negotiate this mentor-mentee relationship. Also, you have to prepare to give and take. A lot of people feel that a mentor relationship should be the mentor advising you and there's nothing going the other way. For successful mentor relationship, it would be a two-way street, meaning that you are learning and also teaching, because invariably your mentor is at a different phase of the process than you are. So it's about you learning and them teaching as well. Yeah, I haven't asked this permission again, and it's not an official mentor-mentee relationship, but I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the specific relationships where I think I learn as much as I'm able to teach as well. Ewan Campbell, who owns the Experience Company, is a good friend of mine, and we often collaborate on ideas and all of that. And that's the kind of relationship. Every time we collaborate on an idea, whether it's for his business, his events that he's putting on, I am learning as much as I'm giving advice. And that's what needs to happen in a mentor-mentee relationship. It can be informal. In our case, it's an informal relationship, but we are always constantly bouncing ideas, challenging each other's ideas, positioning it for growth, and adding value to it. And that's what I mean when I say you have to give as much as you take. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's as much about giving. I have one mentor relationship where my mentor, who runs a very big international business, speaks to me oftentimes about the trends I'm seeing from a marketing standpoint. So he will call me and say, hey, Javed, how do you feel about Bitcoin? Because he's positioned in an echo chamber where his senior managers are saying one thing to him, and he's not connected necessarily to the people who are using digital or internet in the same way. So as a result of that, he looks to me as a mentee. I often look to him when I'm thinking about how do we expand internationally for Point Global, how do we go to different markets. So that's what I mean. And finally, mentor-mentee relationships often evolve. What do I mean by that? In one area of your life and your business, you might become the mentee and another person the mentor. But in another phase, the relationship changes. And you have to recognize that. So as your business grows, if you have a mentor for a long time, invariably what works well is a deep friendship that evolves. And what happens is this back and forth between who is the mentor at one given time and who is the mentee. So you have this back and forth, and it's the kind of relationship that drives substantive value. Now, One of the things that people often grapple with is, how do I select and choose mentors? There are certain rules that I use when I'm selecting and choosing mentors, as well as mentees. One, does our view of the world converge enough for us to be valuable to each other? But do we have differences in our expertise enough that we are not always thinking in the same way and feeling the same way about a situation? And that is extremely important, because diversity isn't the only diversity of demographic, it's also diversity of thought. So they must be looking at it from a different situation. For example, as a business person who is constantly dealing with businesses, I have a lot of people who are friends of mine who are scientists, they are doctors, they are grappling and looking at the scientific world. And that informs my worldview and informs the way I look at even business problems, because I'm confronted by diverging views about a standpoint. Also, there must be a level of expertise that can be transferable. What do I mean by that? If you have a mentor that is not necessarily in your business field, it's extremely important that you're able to borrow and apply the lessons to what you're doing. So if somebody comes from a background that is different from you, the applicability of the lessons that they are conveying to you is important to what you are doing. So the transferring of information is another, if we can transfer information, is another thing that I use as a selection criteria. And finally, do we get along? Do we enjoy talking to each other? Do we enjoy our interaction? Is it natural, or is it a evolving one? You have to get along with your mentor. It doesn't make sense you say, okay, I want a person to be a mentor because they're successful, but at the end of the day, you guys don't get along, you guys don't enjoy the same thing, you guys don't enjoy exchange of information. It's not going to be a productive relationship. And sometimes it's best to actually start a mentor-mentee relationship in an informal way. So it is, you're not saying, oh, I am can you be my mentor? Like in a Mr. Miyagi kind of way. It is, you are developing a friendship, you're going through, the person recognizes that they provide a value based on their expertise, and you are providing a value to them. So you're actually giving as much as you're getting, and the relationship will evolve. Again, as always, reach out to us, tell us how you feel about this video. Go on to our website. If you want to talk to us, we offer free consultations to all our customers and the small business owners. And thank you again for tuning into Pointed, and I hope that this video was edifying to you.